Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Prop Wiz. I'm your host, The Wiz. So this week, I've been trying to knock out all my top 5 or top 10 or worst lists. It's the beginning of the year with the ending of the year, looking at my top stuff. Dude, I messed that sentence all the way up. Anyways, today, I want to share with you my top 5 TV shows of 2024. Here's a disclaimer though. It's been a busy year, so I probably watched less shows than the average person. In fact, before listing my top 5, I'll go ahead right now because the list is that short, man. I'll list every single show that I've watched and loved, including Arcane, Shogun, The Penguin, Ted, Bad Monkey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, The Gentleman, The Vince Staples Show, Baby Reindeer, Sugar, The Acolyte, and I'm currently watching The Skeleton Crew and Creature Commandos on HBO Max. So my top 5 is within that list. And my top 5 is, coming in at number 5 is Arcane Season 2. Now, this is a hard list to comprise, and it's a whole other task putting this thing in order. Arcane is a top-notch show, and Season 2 was an epic ending to such a great series. The only reason this one isn't higher on my list is because it was a bit confusing hopping back into the show for me anyway. I had to go back and watch the last few seasons, or the last season, it was only one season, the last few episodes of Season 1, to understand what was going on with all these new powers. There was things going on. I ain't even like, when did that happen? Where did that come from? That's possibly a me problem, and not the fact that it took a couple of years to get another season. I'll blame myself and not blame them for taking 2-3 years, over 2 years to make Season 2. Whatever, I ain't good at playing victim, man. Arcane, dope show. For my number 4 choice, I had to go with Bad Monkey. This series rests nicely in my feel-good show category, but there was some good mystery stuff, a few murders. Dude, there was some things happening, man. There was some limbs lost, yo. So there was some things that happened that added a little weight, not even a little, a lot of weight. Some limbs lost, man. That's a lot of weight. But Vince Vaughn, man, top of his game in this thing. Classic. If you like Vince Vaughn, you're going to love this, man. And it had an extremely diverse cast that just made the show more colorful, more interesting, and more importantly, funny, man. Everybody on there was funny. Justified, one of my favorite shows. I know stereotyping Justified probably wouldn't be what you think of. But anyways, Bad Monkey was right up there with Justified with the over-the-top characters, but with Vince Vaughn turning the humor all the way up. Man, super duper entertaining, yo. In fact, and rewatchable. Check it out. My number 3 pick is Shogun. Again, man, this is another show that's top-notch, well executed. I'm old, so of course I remember the original Shogun miniseries that came out on TV back in the 80s, and that show was dope, mostly because of samurai swords and, sort of. I don't remember anything really, but some white dude rocking the kimono, hakama, and sword. So I kind of went into this thing thinking it was going to be more like The Last Samurai, but dude, it wasn't. This thing is a beast of a show that really focuses on the Japanese culture with a little bit of history sprinkled in. A lot of history, actually, to be honest with you. But they were smart with how they sprinkled that history in, where some of the stuff that was even made up, completely made up for the show, felt authentic to me enough for me to go back and research if this really had happened. This thing is well done in writing, production, and especially the acting. The acting really stood out to me. This one shot, a miniseries, so you have a beginning, middle, and end. Some people don't like that, but for me, nice little miniseries. We know it ends. It's not a season 2. To me, you can go in and watch it and know I'm going to get a full experience. And if you don't get that full experience, then the show is whack. That wasn't the case with this, man. Super dope show. Number 2, which I'm sure is probably number 1 on most people's list, and that's The Penguin. I'm a huge fan of The Batman, so this one was a no-brainer for me. Colin Farrell had already knocked it out the park playing Oz in the movie, but I figured TV is going to be a whole nother thing. But for me, he proved this was going to be pure entertainment within the first 5 or 10 minutes, man. It was humor. It was already suspense. And basically the storyline was set up within the first 10 minutes, man. This thing never let up off the gas once it started until the credits rolled on the last episode. I'm still mad about the ending, though, man. It didn't make me hate the show, but I think I do really hate Oz, and I really am looking forward to Batman beating him up, man, in the next movie. Don't let me down, Matt Reeves, man, especially since you don't push the Batman. I just got the news that they pushed Batman back to October of 2027. It better be an Oz beatdown. Now, finally, my number 1 show on this list is The Gentleman. Now, I know I might be the only one on this island by myself loving this show, but this show was so much fun for me. I do have to be transparent though and tell you that I am a big fan of Guy Ritchie. In fact, if there's a Guy Ritchie movie that dropped in 2024, you can guarantee there'll be a Guy Ritchie movie in my top 5 movie list when I drop that. Guarantee it, yo. The Gentleman checked all the boxes for me. It's extremely entertaining, funny, suspenseful, and the cinematography, again, because of Guy Ritchie, is amazing. This one was unique too because he added little pieces of stories or scenes from all of his movies. He even had something from Snatch, to me, the GOAT of Guy Ritchie movies, man. It had a whole scene that was snatched from the movie Snatch. Now, I had to use logic that I applied to something behind my favorite, and that logic simply is how many times I watched the movie. Meaning, there's movies that's my favorite, and then there's movies I watch over and over and over again. The Gentleman, man, out of my list is the only one that I watched over and over again. In fact, I might rewatch that today. You know what I'm saying? Bad Monkey is a close second though. Bad Monkey has rewatchability, like instant rewatchability. Just hadn't had the chance to sit down and watch it, man. But The Gentleman, I think it got me for about 4 times, yo. I think I've watched that whole series 4 times, man. Super dope show. Anyways, this is my top 5 TV show list for 2024. Stay tuned as I have a couple of more of these top whatever lists dropping this week. But hey, please make sure you leave me some comments. Let me know what you think about my list, or let me know your top 5 shows this past year. Also, hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the notify button as well. That way you get notified every time I drop a new video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. As always, I love you guys to death, and I'll check you out next time, all right? Peace.